Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Mayhem, and today the challenge is this scrap lift, and it's absolutely intriguing to me. It's filled with texture and dimension and just lots going on. I kind of like the monochromatic look, the blue upper half, and then the kind of muted rosy beige sort of down at the bottom, and you have a few of the rosy beige notes up in the top. I'm probably not gonna be that monochromatic. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna do it, quote unquote, my way with all the colors, and then if I don't like it, I'm gonna go back over it maybe with and recolor some of the elements to get them to bring the colors more to the monochromatic look. So one thing that's good about this design is it's got lots of room in all this dimension that's going on here to tuck in Calvinball points, and so I'm gonna be doing that. And I have I don't guess you can see it. Let me see if I can tilt the camera over to it. Nope, that's not gonna work. Let's just leave the camera as it is. I'll show you as we go along. First thing I'm going to do is create the background. And this will probably be a fairly long video because there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to tape this down, and I just kind of hand cut this diagonal piece. This is just masking off this area down here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the bottom first. Let's just do it this way. I'm going to do the pale part first, and then I'm going to cover it. And it will dry quickly. There isn't as much that's going to be going on here. So let me get this kind of taped down to the background, and we'll go here. I have some distress ink in antique linen, and before I tape that down, I'm going to kind of go through and kind of rub the edges. I'm just applying the ink pad onto the paper, creating a kind of inky sort of a look, and that may be all I use of that, but I'm going to keep it handy. The next color I'm going to add is this tattered rose, and I'm going to do the old standby packaging technique with a little bit of water, and I'll kind of smoosh it around and get it touching that antique linen stuff. And as you can see, let me see if I can turn up the light, if that gets better or worse. No, it's worse. There you may be able to see a little bit better, but I can't see, so I'm going to turn it up a little bit, and I know you're blinded by that, so what I'm going to do is to kind of cover that with the with what I'm lifting. So let me go back to the pink here and kind of smoosh that down, mostly in the corner, but And let me kind of, I'm going to add a little bit more down in the very corner. And just kind of rubbing the ink pad. Let me do this again because that's creating a glare. And this is kind of a mess. I kind of organized all the parts and pieces to this last night without any idea how I was going to make it work. And I still don't have any idea. I just started, you know, I just jumped in. Now I'm kind of taking just a wet piece of packaging and I'm blurring some of the hard lines. Okay, that's all I think I'm going to do to that area, and I'm going to embellish very lightly there, but try somehow to make to give it the effective texture. Okay, now I'm going to take this off and put it this way. I'm going to kind of bring it down a little bit. Now, let's go for some blue. Let me get those inks kind of off to the side, and for this I'm going to do this broken china kind of in the middle, and I'm going to just kind of rub it around like this. And leave some areas open and with a little white showing. And then I'll probably go back. This is Uncharted Mariner, and I'm going to really kind of hit this fairly hard. And I'm maybe going to try to see what a little bit of water spray will do. Where's my water spray? There it is. Let me just kind of hit it so that it's getting a little bit of the there. Okay, and I kind of wanted to get some really dark areas there, and so now I'm going to go back and kind of smooth that in. And let me get that's definitely the depth of color that I wanted, and I kind of like these little areas like this that are sort of cut out of it. And then, ooh, look at that. And I'm going to go back over here and do another really dark.
Unknown caller.
I'm getting a call. Let me stop that. Excuse me. Shut that down. That is the hospital calling about the surgery tomorrow. And I was told they wouldn't be calling. And I will call them back when this is over. Okay, now I'm going to, I kind of want for this area right here, well, actually, let me do some more direct ink application, and then I'll kind of smooth that out. Here, I'll just put it on the edges, and then I'll do this, and then kind of work it around. I kind of like some of the patterns that are going on there, and I don't really want to smooth it all out, so I'm going to leave it like this. And now I'm going to add a turquoise color with these color burst powder, and I'm going to put a little bit of water down and make sure that I can see where the water drops are so that I can add this. And this will give it a definite well, the name says it all. It's a burst of color. Bursts of color. Kind of right in here is where the photo cluster is going to be, and I didn't want to do a lot in there. Now, the magic will happen when I spritz it with water. And then I'm going to roll over it and get it somewhat tamed. Okay. I would like for that to be a little less kind of shocking in those areas where I did the, I'm going to turn the light up. Again, I'm going to cover this so it doesn't bother you. And I need that so that I can see. I look forward to when all this surgery stuff is over and I can kind of concentrate on getting all this done. Now I'm going to kind of fill in some areas and sort of work that new color in. by putting on some of the old color around it. And I'm kind of just smoothing it out a bit. And a lot of this, of course, is going to get covered up by fun things like Calvinball points. Let's see. Okay, now let's take the shiny part off, and I will try to remember to tell you where I got all the stuff that I've gathered to put on here. But I may forget, and just consider it, that's my stash. I threw some stash in. Okay, now the background is done, and I want to start with putting on the photo cluster. And I've got a lot of stuff going on just in the photo cluster. I have this piece of glassine that was in between the two sheets of pop dots that I got in the with the supplies that my former daughter-in-law's mother had, and which her husband kept after she passed. Then I have this piece of denim that is, I'm going to kind of center it on there horizontally, but not vertically. Then I have this, which is a piece of packaging from some onions, or onion-like things. Let's see if I can get some adhesive on there just to kind of hold that in place. And then I'm going to put some foam on the back of my photo, not specifically to prop it up, but to take the glue that I'm going to put on to make it stick to all of this. And I intentionally added that green to try to work that into the composition, because I'm going to have a lot of green in the leaves and other things. And the pink was worked in down here because I have some kind of corally pink flowers. So I did the adhesive roll. I've got to kind of clean that out, I think. Well, let me put this back on in the pin cushion. I want a lot of glue here to get through there. And here's where how I was celebrating the fine bead of glue that comes out of this now. Right now, I kind of wish it was more in glops. So I'm going to put this down here. Let me tease the net part out there. And now I'm going to press down on that. I'm going to do it with this piece of paper. Okay, Now, I have the very first element that I'm noticing. First of all, in the original, I'm seeing all these circles of different sizes, and they're all, these are stamped on, looks like, and there are, that's kind of a base of the design. So I have kind of gathered a bunch of circles, and I have this one, which is a frame from the Discover and Create collection by Vicki. And it's chipboard, and it's very kind of stands out. It's noticeable, and it frames kind of that pretty stuff, which I like. As a stark contrast to the blue, I thought I was going to play up some oranges, and now that I look at it, because it picks up on the oranges in the photo, I love it. So I'm going to do it just because in my mind it sets something of a color scheme that allows me to use all the other colors. It'll make me feel more comfortable about the other stuff I'm going to pile in. I have this little bit of chicken wire sort of netting. I'm going to cut it kind of unevenly apart so that I can have some to the left and some to the right of the photo. And I'm just going to kind of dry fit this in right now. I actually maybe think I want more up here. So I'm going to do this and maybe have some things in between. And I'm just going to have a smaller bit down here. But let me just kind of see where else we go with things. I have a tag. Now, I will say that the denim and some of the other things, including this piece, were part of a gift that was sent me by my friend Sharon, and I believe it's part of a mixed media kit that was, let's see if I do this, that was from Color Rush Studios. I'm gonna kind of glue that on so that it has some, so that it puckers up, and then I can slide these things under or whatever. Let me see how far I get with this. I don't want it straight. I want it kind of curled maybe. And kind of doubled over like that. And then I can do some other things around it, like this bit of doily, although I'm thinking that I'd prefer it down going this way. And I'm pressing that down hard. I'm okay if this kind of rises up. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here, and I'm going to kind of crumple it, not just to make it look a little older, more vintagey. And I guess probably some ink might help that. put that under the glassine. Okay, so it does kind of stand out. Otherwise, it would be just kind of flat white on white. And I'm going to tuck in a flower right there. Because with the way that this is bent up, the flower kind of sits off to the side, which sort of adds to the dimension. And I've got to hold that down too so that the glue the glue catches. Okay, I have this really large purple circle that has been stamped with hearts and a bee in this color, the Uncharted Mariner. And I want to see, in the original, there is a kind of a circular-ish element here in this this half moon or quarter moon or whatever kind of moon that is. So I think that just kind of is too abrupt and too large. This side of it might actually work better, and maybe only half of it. I'm going to put this aside just for the heck of it, just for now. I don't think I need any more washi tape, so I'm going to hang that back up. I have a vintage tag. It is a sticker, and it has a backing. I was going to put it on with the backing, but I think I will use it as a sticker and kind of have it sort of kind of peeking out from under the glassine here. And then it kind of forms part of the background. I'm going to use this as part of the part that's going to kind of cascade down from there. I have this is a clock that I'm going to just glue flat. This is from a pattern paper that I've been saving just for Calvinball points because usually in Calvinball there's a point for using a clock. That rule hasn't been added yet, so I'm going to put this. I need a piece of foam on one side of this. How about, let's see, if I did it here, I'd want the foam on this side. This is going to take a minute to get together. So I've got that there, and now I need something that will kind of soften the lines there, and I'm going to introduce some purple here by inserting this leaf cluster, which was cut from packaging from 49 and Market, and I believe that's the lavender the lavender collection that was gifted to me by one of my precious subbies. So thank you. You know who you are. And I have this little, if I don't put this guy in here now, he won't make it. It's a hedgehog. It's going to be peeking out right there, and I will add some other things around. I have this circle, which, see, if I had used that as a regular tag, I could have put it down there. I kind of like this where part of it shows underneath the frame, so I'm going to go with that. And this kind of introduces that peach color. I'm going to kind of bring it down adjacent to the tag. I have another purple piece right here, and I thought I could do something up here. I get a point for dotted paper, and that's some dotted paper that I already had cut. So I'm going to go there. And I have these. This one says 2-hour time limit, and this one is a voltometer. and that's also from that Color Rush studio. There's a collection of really unusual ephemera. So I'm going to add this kind of in right here. And the 2-hour time limit, I was going to maybe use down here with connections to kind of slide it under both the glassine and the doily. Let's see. It looks weird now. I'm hoping that changes. But it's I always consider Mixed Media Mayhem to be my on camera lesson time. Not that I'm giving you lessons, it's that I'm learning lessons. And so on my commitment to myself is to try something new that scares me for pretty much every Mixed Media Mayhem page. I'm just going to kind of glue that right there, coming up out of this. And I want to add some of this down here. So I'm going to cut a smaller piece and have it there and kind of curled up there. So let me get a lot of glue on it. That seems to have worked okay. And don't worry about the disjointed colors everywhere. I'm going to add things on top that will hopefully make them not stand out so starkly, if you know what I mean. Let's see. Usually when I do colorful layouts, I'm using really bright rainbow-y sort of colors. Now here's something new. I spent this is like 2 hours of my life I'll never get back, stitching this piece of ephemera from a Paige Evans collection. And I love how it turned out. I did the orange and white twine on a purple heart. So there's stitching, which you rarely see from me. And I'm not sure where I'm going to put it in. I haven't glued that down yet. So I could put it here and maybe slide it a little bit under there. Not really, that's not working out for me. So I will bring it down here, and I'm just going to put glue. I use some washi tape behind the thread to kind of secure the ends, and that kind of props it up a little bit. So I'm going to kind of work it in right here. And then I will add this sort of on top of it and the frame. Okay, there. Now, I have a telephone dial. And I thought I might put it down here, kind of breaking that line, and then I can add some other stuff to that area. I also have a need to use a film strip, and I kind of wanted to work it into, I'm going to use a small little bitty one. This is these are the Mariner, it's the Mariner color line from 49 in Market. And I wonder if I can use it like that, and then this could kind of go there. I want this line somewhat obscured, so there, and then a flower there. I'll glue this down so that that works. I'm not trying to duplicate the embellishing on the original. Let me maybe bring this down and get it under the chicken wire. Okay. For instance, I'm well aware there's no film strip in the original, but I'm okay with that. Let's see if I put this here. I'm adding vintagey items and mixing in some kind of modern ideas here, and I'm kind of liking it at the moment. Let me see if I can put, I have a small peach flower that could go right there. So I'm okay with that. I'm gonna get some glue here. And I know I'm all over the place with the embellishing because I don't have a plan. I have some stuff that I thought might work for the look I had in mind, and have some goofy things that I would only use for Calvinball. For example, this dinosaur I'm gonna kind of place right there. This is a Stephen Duncan dinosaur from Toy Box, and I think I'm about to run out of the dinosaurs that I fussy cut from there. I have a small circular frog, so I'm adding in some fun things, and I've decided that I'm going to be okay with it looking kind of cluttered, because there's no question that's going to be the case. I've got this circle-y sticker that says hello lovely life, and it's kind of that reddish orange. I'm going to tuck it in here. Let me lift this lace a bit. It's not lifting. There we go. Oh, it's lifting all right. It's just that this is stuck. Okay, I'm not happy with that there. Let me put it more out here, and then I can put something else there, like maybe a, or something here. Let's, oh, I need an arrow, and I'll do it there. This is also from the Color Rush Studio thing. So Sharon, thank you very much for these goodies. I finally found the type of page that I want to use them on, and you asked me how I might use that metal wire. Probably somewhat the same way I'm using this wire here. I'm going to add this up here just to provide a bit of a background stage for some other embellishing that I'm going to do up here. And I'll just kind of get it secured. Okay, I've pulled these things out. I know that in the original there was kind of where the ribbon kind of came down, but I've sort of done that with real ribbon. I don't think I have a use for this because I've glued some things down. So I'm going to put these things aside. I think I've used all of this that I'm going to use, so I'll put that aside. I've got my little area over here. I need a gear for a point. They just added a rule for gears at midnight last night, and aren't you glad that I checked the rules in the morning when I get up? I'm gonna do, what's great about adding gears to this layout is that they're circular and they fit right in. I'm going to go ahead and do these are all together, and this is it's called a snip art by it's a laser cut. It's actually a chipboard that looks like wood veneer, and you can color it or just kind of do anything you want. I kind of like using it natural, and I've used a lot, and this is what I have left. So I think this is all I'm going to use here, and I think I'm going to do these maybe kind of right there where one is stuck on the photo and the other is kind of going up into that field. I'm going to add a real wood veneer star. I have these plaid stars, and in the original there are some stars. I'm not sure I'm going to use the plaid ones there now. I have a I want to put this, it's not exactly a title, it's some journaling, and I want to put this on before I start embellishing kind of around it. Let me do that. Let's see. I do want to use some stars up here, and I have some blue ones. These are bramble fox. I have this little tiny wood veneer that's been added to the list. I'm going to add it right there, and I think I'll also use this turquoise one. Okay, now my supply of stuff is kind of dwindling a bit, but there are some things I want to be sure to work in. I know I have this area down here and this area up here to kind of fill in. So I want to I'm going to put this leaf sprig down here and then add a flower to it, and I'm placing the leaf sprig so that it covers that line, and I'm going to let the other leaves kind of be out there. I have this flower which I thought I might use here on the frame because the bee is right there, and before I forget that I want to do that, let me get it up there. Again, I'm all over the place, and I know that. Okay, and I have a purple bottle cap. I used to make necklaces for the kids with these bottle caps. I'm going to kind of slide it in right here because there's some purple gathering over there. I have a little bee that came from the same 49 and Market collection as the this chicken wire, and I normally don't use bees on Ava pages. I use baby squirrels. Let me get a, speaking of that, let me get a squirrel. I want something that'll kind of stand out. Something white might stand out on this page. There is a, there's a plaid one. And that would give me my plaid point without using those hearts, or those stars rather. I will use those stars on something else, but right now we're going with a plaid squirrel. And I'm going to put it right here by the hedgehog. Okay, so this is here. What flower are we going to use? Do I want a purple flower? Oh yes, because it's close to that purple heart. So yeah, let's do that. This one, I think I'm going to use, well, let's try the glue. There's a little kind of a stub in these. And then I need something right there, and that might end up being one of these little green flowers that I'm going to go back later and put some something in the center there. And then I've got another peachy one, kind of, that will contrast with that purple. And I'm going to tuck it in under so that it's sideways, adding to that dimension. I'm going to raise that up a little bit, and the leaf is loose so it can be kind of brought out. That there's not enough glue on there for it to stick right now. There, I think it's down. And I have a toadstool. They've just added this to the list. I think what they added to the list was mushroom, but I'm calling this a toadstool. I'm using a toadstool as a mushroom, and I'm thinking it's close enough. And come on, glue, come on. My fingers are fumbly. Do I want it maybe right here? I kind of like that because it's more peeking out than kind of up front and center there. Okay, I have this floral that is different from any of the other florals that are on here, but I'm kind of thinking I want to use it somewhere. I'm going to just go for it. Well, okay, how about if I did it up here, maybe on top of that doily. Let's see what happens. This adds yellow to the page, and I don't have any particular reason for doing that. It's just I think it might be kind of nice. But it's so close to those florals. How about maybe over here? Don't like that. Let's go back over. How about right here? Let's lift this up, and here's my that worked out perfectly. And now I can add this blue butterfly there. When I was fussy cutting this, also from packaging, from some 49 and Market packaging, the opportunity was there to cut through the wings so that it's kind of bifold wings. Let me do my little cluster that I was planning down in here. I'm going to put this on foam. I need a different foam. Where's the foam? Let's use this thick stuff for this guy. This is a black camera. I still do want something right there. I don't know what. I'm gonna do the camera like this with a, I think that's gonna work out. I think that will do. And I'm gonna put some foam behind these leaves and get them kind of tucked under. This is definitely a more greater contrast cluster than in the original, but I'm okay with that. Let me put that there. I have a metal key lock sort of thing. It's an old Tim Holtz. I don't know if that's upside down. I'm going to put it this way. That might work there. That's kind of just an old vintagey thing. Tim Holtz, I believe. From many years ago. And when I do vintage layouts, you know, on the very rare occasion that I do vintage looking layouts, I kind of like to add metal stuff. I have this ticket that's also very heavily distressed and cut from a and do I maybe want it up here? I'm gonna tear it. And use it there. And I might use the other half of it somewhere else. That kind of makes a nice transition from this floral cluster up to there. Now I'm going to add this butterfly down here with its wings, this one wing lifted up, resting on the camera. So I'm going to and I'm going to put a kind of a tagline down here. This is a photo from 2018. James and Ava have the same birthday, and it used to be kind of a big thing. She always wanted to go to Main Event, which is a game place, because everybody could have fun there. Everybody enjoyed it. And do I want this big flower there, or do I want this big flower maybe up in here? Maybe up here. I've got to have someplace to hide those stems. I guess I could cut them off below the tape. They're taped together, so that's easy enough. I can kind of make them part of this, but I don't want to lose that or the ticket. It's big and it's beautiful and it's the right color, but is it too much for given the composition that I've already got in place? I'm gonna maybe put it right there and then put a smaller flower. How about in between there and there? I'm gonna do that. Let's do some adhesive tape, and I'm gonna use the black kind. It's just a little stickier than the others I have. And I've got this. I want something here, and maybe I can do the same sort of thing with a leaf that gets there. How's that? I will do that. How did she end hers? She had just some, she didn't have kind of the hard line. She had lots of things. It was kind of blended, I guess. I'm going to do that. And then for right there, I could either do this flower I want to add this one somewhere over on this side of the page. Maybe here. And then I'll figure out where to go next. It's kind of a mess, guys. I will admit that up front. I'm gonna add this ticket kind of coming out of the photo cluster. There. I have a leaf cluster. Not sure I'm going to have room for that. I do have a blue one, and I like the idea of the blue leaves, but not with these flowers. So I kind of like this one with these flowers, but it doesn't work. It's not the right orientation. Okay, I have I do want to use this blue leaf cluster. Oh, I know what I'm going to do there. I'm going to use this butterfly, or maybe, yeah, let's go with the butterfly. This is a different butterfly. This is a cocoa vanilla. But the color's right. I didn't use any of this down here. Do I want to? Do I need to? I'm going to cut a small bit of it. And I'll trim that off the edge of the paper. I tell you what I can do. I can do that now. Turn that little bit and this little bit. I've lost my my view of it. My screensaver setting kicked in. Okay, there. And now, some of the things I have left. I have these blue leaves left. And I might try to work them in here. Don't like that. How about here? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift up the sticker. Kind of do that. And then glue the sticker back on. So that worked. Will this work for this flower? I don't think so. That's an odd shaped leaf cluster. It seems like it would work there, but it doesn't. And it's just the wrong kind of leaf for there. The proportion's not right. So that guy does not get used. I have no hearts anywhere on here, so I'm going to use these bramble fox hearts. On the doily. I have some tiny flowers and I have some ribbony type things I'm going to try to work in. There. I have a shamrock. Can I sneak it in right there? That's just too much. Everything about this is too much and all wrong. And I don't think it can be fixed by trying to go back and normalize the colors. I love it, but I'm not thinking it's it's not a good lift of the original. Let me just say that. I don't think it captured the vibe of the original. Very happy with the mixed media background part. I'm kind of just adding these little flowers. I have this really brazen red-ish one, but I'm not going to use it. I have this, but I have my metal element in there. I don't need that. I have that flare. Let's go with, there is this ribbon. Let me cut a little piece of it and have it, I'll start it like right here under the photo. I'm just going to drape it around and kind of like that. And this was a gift from among some purple things from my my good friend Gwen. And so I thank you, Gwen. She is one of a few people who doesn't care for purple. And so anytime she has something purple in her stash that came with other things that she does like, she kind of boxes up all her purple stuff and sends it to me. And again, this year, I missed when she's in the UK, and I missed a chance. She visits a friend in Florida every year, and I missed a chance to meet her friend and go scrap with them, kind of because of this whole heart thing, and not being able to drive and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm just kind of not getting a good adherence there. This is some really silky kind of ribbon, and it also comes in teal, and so I'm going to use some of the teal. Oh, maybe down in here. Actually, I'm gonna run it from under this floral cluster. And under the doily. Kind of put it there, and then down here and over. I want it to look like it just fell there, so and it's sticking to the adhesive on my hands. Okay, come on. Stick there, and then kind of curl over there. All right, that's done. Now, it came in this kind of beigey pink, and I didn't think I'd ever use this, but it's perfect for right here. So let's do it. Okay. All right, we have here mixed media mayhem, and mayhem has never been a truer word. There's never been a truer description of anything than this. So I'm gonna call it done, and I don't think I will add anything. Well, let's take a look. I'm lying when I say that. I have this piece which has a paper clip on it. I'm going to call that a paper clip, and I'm going to say I don't need this. I'm going to try to fit this ampersand in here. in the frame and kind of overlapping the frame. I kind of like that. And I want to use, just as a nod to Wendy, who is Ava's grandmother, who she never met. I just inherited some of her scrapbooking supplies, and I kind of want to use all the supplies. When I use Wendy's supplies, I want them to be on pages about her grandchildren. So an Allie page or an Ava page. Not an exclusive sort of a thing, but I like kind of adding in little touches on pages that I'm already making. So this is a clock, and it has a ribbony kind of thing. So I'm going to put it down here, peeking out from under this lace. So Sharon, I cannot thank you enough for the Color Rush Studio kit where this gorgeous lace came from. I think that's my favorite part of the page. I do have these purple flowers that are if there's ever a page they would go on, it would maybe be this one. And I can probably kind of sneak them in. On the blue part, they're not going to show up much. They are very heavy acrylic. I think I got these on the freebie table at a retreat. Again, nobody wanted the purple. So they were giving it away. So I'm going to use 3 of these and try to kind of tuck them in somewhere. They have the pretty pearl centers. That reminds me, I have to go back and do the centers of those little green flowers. Let me get this one kind of tucked in under this guy and overlapping the metal piece. Just no reason to tuck those in other than they seem okay for the page. They seem right for the page. Okay, what next? We'll do the right. I don't have an avocado on here, and I think it's gonna go without an avocado. Little green flower right there. I'm adding these glittery Nouveau drops in the perfect color blue for the background. Let's see, any other place I want to use these. Okay, that guy is not sticking. I'm going to use it like glue to make that guy stick. There we go. Okay, so I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you aren't horrified by this page. It's been fun. It was fun planning, and it's been fun doing it. And it kind of to me accurately represents the chaos of a big game place like they used to like to go for their birthdays. Ava has said this year, when she turns 16 and her dad turns 50 on the same day, she has said that she doesn't she doesn't want to go there. So we'll see. I have this kind of title phrase, title sticker. Every day is a new adventure. That's from a Paige Evans sticker sheet. And I like this "It's Your Day" bit. I could maybe go right there. That adds pink to it, and I've committed, so it's going. And I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I was going to use, I had this up here, and I was going to use "Loving This Life" as the title, but you know, there's no room. so that's not going on there. So I thank you for watching, and I hope it inspires you to go out and use a bunch of stuff that you have that you didn't think you'd ever use on a layout. So go for it. Bye. And check out everybody else. I will have a playlist in my description box that'll connect you to all the other folks on the team who are doing this same scrap lift. Bye.